Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail with a Scrolls Let's Play, where today I am doing a post-commentary on a challenge game that I had relatively recently with Noctani. We're not going to be having much in the way of Decay today. This is my growth deck versus a deck that he's trying out that is Energy and Order, and I think it's a really interesting deck to watch and see. There will be more Decay stuff coming and all that. I've had some interesting games with that, albeit me not always playing the best because I'm still building my deck. But let's go ahead and get started here. Noctani is a 1900 rated player. I've seen him in and out of the top 100, but I don't have a ton of confidence here. As I say, I'm going to get stomped, and we both sack for resources. So he starts with energy. I had no idea what he was playing before here, but opting to keep the Kinfolk Brave possibly out first. I know it's a burn magnet, but better to play it early than not. Though I do have a Dryatic Power, and I do still have memories of Once Upon a Time Joyful Rogue just stomping me with the Kinfolk Brave that is Dryatic Powered in the middle. It dominates one lane, and yeah, you can't keep it there, but because it attacks every turn, you have trouble moving units up and down and through it. So he drops a Gravelock Outcast early, which is nice if he's playing Growth there to regenerate it, but otherwise it's just a small drop unit, and I have 3 resources here, and the reason that I wait to play the Kinfolk Brave and then the Dryatic Power is because that'll survive direct damage with 5 health. If I just played it before, he would have just possibly burned it. So we do have a little bit of talk here. He's a nice guy. He's throwing some cards my way too, so I appreciate it. But right now he gets a Solemn Giant out, so I don't exactly appreciate that. As look at me, I suddenly think, wow, I'm a moron. I have this guy here. He's going to be attacking this idol, but yeah, he can just move his units up and down and dodge. So I believe that's my second God Hand that I've gotten rid of now. And I don't have too much to play other than the Ancestral Totem. I could play a Rat King this early, but might decide to wait instead. The Solemn Giant is something that's going to be big and beefy and kind of awful early, especially if he elects to take it down with the Solemn Giant next turn. So I can Crimson Bull and rush this idol. So he mentions if I had an idol I could do, or if I had a veteran I could do something, but I don't. So sensing the impending demise of my Brave, I rush for an idol. So there's only 2 more I have to get, either up here or down here. But I don't really feel like I'm ahead so far in this game, because what do I really have on the board? Not a lot. Do I have a lot of ways to deal with the Solemn Giant? Not really, and he could just pump them and take out units next turn while... If I don't have things, and that's kind of the problem here. I get a Great Wolf out, and it is a Great Wolf that's kind of in the shooting gallery eventually. But part of the problem with facing energy, especially if they get an early Solemn Giant, is that they're going to be able to draw cards and they can just spend their energy on pumping this guy and attacking. Energy is at a point right now where they don't have to spam all their cards out, whereas Growth, you got to fill the board as much as possible, but units like this can clean it up, especially if he plays a Machination Mindset, which I haven't really seen energy players play very much. Because, I mean, it is situational. Relentlessness is good, but it only gets you so far. So there's a Transposition, partially for card draw, but also a nice play to go ahead and take out this Ancestral Totem as well, so my damage is thereby just slightly nerfed. Now, I could play the Rat King here, and that may have been a misplay, because I could play the Rat King just to try and delay this, since this guy is not relentless. But I do have a Kinfolk Brave, Great Wolf, Ragged Wolf. Just a matter of whether I can actually take care of my units a little bit. I am making a conscious effort to try and do better with my wolves. But right now, let's just see. Is he going to start going after my idols? He is splashing Order here. And he plays a Desert Memorial, so that means there's definitely more Order going on at this point. This is where my hack will start to raise and say, this is not a standard deck at all, which is okay. So I play the Sister. That's partially as a chump blocker, partially for draw, and the Great Wolf is a very nice get here. The problem is whether I can play the Great Wolf early or not. So it's nice that I get to be the test dummy here for him, but right now just trying to play more units out here. If I get a Mangy Wolf, that's going to mean a lot of happy attacking at this point, but I play the Crimson Bull once again to try and rush idols. I just want to get as ahead as I can here. So I've got 2 idols down by round 9. I could possibly end this game next turn, but he is going to play, very likely destroy this Great Wolf that's going to attack next turn, because those transpositions are coming at just the right time here. Though if I get a Mangy or something, I can take out both of those units. But losing that Great Wolf does hurt, does mean I'm not going to be getting a fast victory here. Could get the Quake, probably hurts me more than helps me. Unfortunately, no cards to boost my units. And what I probably could have done here to take care of my units a little more is maybe tuck the Veteran behind the Sister of the Fox and a Great Wolf. Because you want this guy to live if possible. But right now, this Solemn Giant is probably going to die. He could take the Veteran down with him. But there's a Violent Dispersal on my Great Wolf. Like I said before, that's the card that I really have trouble dealing with energy, because you have a great unit and then it dies. And with growth, your currency is your unit. You don't have a lot of other ways of clawing your way back into the game. And I'm finding that already to be the case playing growth versus decay as well. But we'll see some of those games, some going faster, some going slower. So I do have the possibility of damaging and quaking and just trying to go for a reset. I could play a Great Wolf here, but I like to get rid of it, which seems like an odd choice. But I did get a Rally Crimson Bull that I can't play all in one turn. So, I mean, it's just a matter of what am I doing here. I elect a Crimson Bull at least to get rid of the Solemn Giant. So, while he does have more stuff on the board, more resources, Thunder Surge right away means that I can pretty much quake without having to worry about it too much, because he's going to clear my board entirely here. Overall, I may have gotten 2 idols, but there's a reason I tried to rush the idols, because Noctani now can really just go for holding on everything. So I pother just for cards, hoping to get something else. Not really sure what at this point, but maybe just to go ahead and run that Quake. So he is protecting this top idol up here. And you don't want to get too stuck on one idol, especially when he draws Heritage on there as well. So this is kind of like an energy order draw, maybe, kind of. But he does have the Automata Forge that he can keep pumping things out of. He is running a lot of order here at this point. But at this rate, when he's blocking this top idol this much, it may be time to just start going and attacking the bottom here. Now, I did make a misplay there. I should have played the Sister of the Fox instead of sacking the totem. But I do have actually enough mana to play every single card here, if I were to elect to do so. Once again, probably should have played the Sister first. That would have been a best practice. I would have probably preferred to have gotten the Wolf Brother out. But as is, I'll take the cards that I get and take destroying one of his attacking units. Now, unfortunately, I don't have enough resources, especially with that burn. Double burn, actually, by Noctani. So, a little bit of trouble there. But yeah, I try to look like I have a God Hand there. I did get a Rally, which is really nice, but of course I get rid of it, so it doesn't do me tons of good. But at this rate, I really should start thinking about sacking for more resources. I have cards to play. I have pretty good cards to play. I could actually use that Kinfolk Veteran to take out that Automata Forge at any time instead of letting it pump out units. But we're just going to sit and watch as we get another Thunder Surge as I just keep clumping my units like a boss. And he is just whittling me away ever so slowly. So what's it going to be? Sacking for resources finally. Is it going to be the Kinfolk Veteran to take out the Forge? No, it's going to be the Kinfolk Veteran to take out that guy, the one automaton. So I could attack with my brother the Wolf next turn and take out the Forge. Might be a better plan if he doesn't have something to take it out, but that's okay because he has another Forge and he drops it in the middle. Gets the cannon automaton there, gets all kinds of things out. So rough play on my end. I could go and say, oh, it's early, but go ahead and get 2 Fertile Souls. Not really the cards I want here. But I can at least take out 1 Forge, but I choose not to do so because I'm going to rally instead from the looks of it just to get all these guys on the board. And I probably should have moved that Wolf up to at least do 1 damage to the other Automata Forge because that's kind of wasted damage. But at least I can Fertile Soil next turn with that Wolf. Maybe Fertile Soil twice. Nope, because there is another Thunder Surge because I just keep clumping my units. That may have been all 3, but for now it probably looks like this is just a Fertile Soil and reset turn. Get another Quake. So I could possibly Quake in the near future. I could play Sister of the Fox. I actually get 2 Quakes, so it's time to be growth skill quaking here. What can you say? There's only so much to do. He actually kabonks his own unit for card draw, because he's just at that point where he can do that now. gets a Gravelock Elder. I am looking up shit creek right now, to be honest. As he is just whittling away, getting a ton of creatures on the board. Not a terrible time to double quake here. I could Sister of the Fox and then Fertile Soil combo, but probably better just to get the quakes out of the way. And he probably smells that I have a second quake, but he's playing the Law Memorial anyway, because you know what, it increases order no matter what. There's the Transposition and the Heritage. So good plays by him. If you notice, he has 7 energy, he has 5 cards. There's obviously other things he can play here, but he smells the double quake coming. And at this point, what other move do I really have, because he's going to be attacking with a ton of units? He gets the Heritage on the Automata Forge. So once again, as I said a zillion times about Quake, it's all about the follow-up. It's all about the reaction. It's a card that's part of the game. But, I mean, it's to have best effect for Growth, it's pretty much going to clear Growth's board almost every time. So, I mean, at this rate, drawing the Pother, there's not too much to do other than just Quake again, Ragged Wolf, and clear his board and start anew. The thing, though, is that he has a lot more resources, he has a lot more cards, so it's going to be up to me to try and turn the tides here just a little bit, because right now, he's ahead. I may be up to idols, and I may be... Oh, there we go. Boom, boom. I may be up 2 idols, but he is up a ton of resources. He's getting more cards. He's getting burns. He's getting draws. He pothers just because he can. Lots of resources there for Noctani, and I am looking at not a lot. Now, what can I do here? I can possibly Chemfolk Veteran. I can possibly Brother the Wolf. I can't play both Chemfolk Veterans and win the day, but I can at least take the Gravelock Elder out. So that counts for something. I'm down to 2 cards, though. If I had 12 resources, I could have won the game outright. But, yeah, that's not how that works. So we got another Heritage on this. This is just a matter of, do I want to kill this card and draw things or what? So there's the Sister of the Fox, just to see what else I can get. A Vetter's not really what I want. But it looks like at this rate... With this guy down here, I am just going to spread the board. I finally am learning from my Thunder Surge mistakes. Who knew? As I get complimented on my split after how many times of screwing it up. But there's the Transposition. And that is probably the end of my Brother of the Wolf if he has an Iron Whip. Actually, there's a Violent Dispersal, so not even that. Getting 2 guys out. Getting all kinds of mess here. And the important thing about moving that up there is that it's an armor 1 4 health unit. And I Fertile Soil one of the Vetters because why not? I could have kept the Sister, but the Sister's there. The reason I didn't Fertile Soil the Sister is I don't want to lose that idol without a fight. But we get our first Rat King of the day. Now if I could Rat King God Hand, I could do some damage here, but right now it's just me trying to split up my units as best as possible. Rat King is especially susceptible to Thunder Surge. And it would be great to have a God Hand. He would probably like to have a Thunder Surge. Let's just see, though. Because right now he summons, so he has more structures. Are we going to get a structure in front of this guy? Yes, we are. So that's going to eat up 1 attack. That means if I do have a God Hand or something, there's not going to be a lot to it. There is the Automaton as well, as that's going to... or the Solemn Giant, so... My poor rats. It's like I play Rat King and they always die. Every time. But here we go. I do have... I don't know, my voice just broke there. I do have some decent cards. I can actually take out this Cannon Automaton with 2 Chemfolk Veterans, which would be awesome. I have a Pother here. I could possibly gun this idol really hard if I wanted to. So I did lose some rats from my Rat King. I elect a Pother here, and am I actually going to gun for the idol? I mean, at this point I feel like I'm behind and I got to do something to get back into it. He is only at 1 card right now, and I really don't want to be constantly getting thrown by his Heritage. I don't want to give him more draw if he doesn't have to. So it's not great. It's not a great play there that I've reduced it to 3 health, but it does take killing 3 idols to win, and if I could get another Pother or something, I could make this happen. There's the Thunder Surge that I was expecting, and a Spark. So he clears my board. Just, once again, he was down to 1 card. I was hoping he wouldn't have the cards that he needed, but he did. So it's my sister of the fox versus all of these guys. Now let's see here. If I can play the if I can play the Great Wolf and possibly the Kinfolk Brave, that could work. I could double Quake here as well, but that'll give him a crap ton of cards with Heritage. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that option, but I do have cards to follow up with it later. So he can pother. Is the second Quake coming? I don't know. If he does bombard here, he could possibly win the game with the right cards right here. He can clear me out almost entirely if he just had a bombard, but he doesn't. So 2 of my idols are down. There's a Solemn Giant right in my face. This guy's attacking next turn. I gunned for 2 idols early. I got another one down. But here comes the Quake again. And I got 2 Ragged Wolves. That's some sweet top decking right there. And unfortunately, because this Gravelock Elder has 3 health, I'm not going to take it down all the way, but I'm going to take it down at least a little of the way. So I live to fight another day. I have a bunch of creatures blocking, 1 less, 2 less. Desert Memorial, blocking my top idol. So I gave him a lot of cards, and he does, in fact, get an Automata Forge. So this game is a game that is slowly slipping away from me. Now I get a Great Wolf, which I really want, and I really hated sacking that rallying, but I got another rallying, which is a good piece of luck there. So Great Wolf and Dryatic Power, I could park that on the road. Dryatic Power is a card that's been working decently for me so far. Of course, if he has a Violent Dispersal in his hand, and he probably does, that's going to be the end of the Great Wolf, and it is. So whoopity-dee! Now what's interesting to me here is that he is just holding on to everything that he's got right now, as he has his units up here. I say GG though, because I thought I was dead. I thought he was going to kill me. I thought he had something right there. But I do get a Mangy Wolf. That would have been awesome. That actually would have been game-winning for me. Possibly. But instead, let's see here. We have the Ragged Wolf. We have the Mangy Wolf, Ragged Wolf combo. Ancestral Totem as well. Just got to put a lot of health units up here, which is one reason that I put the 3 and 5 here. It knocks the cooldown by 1. So it's going to attack next turn. But more importantly, I need health on these units. Is he going to burn the Great Wolf, though? That's the question. And that's the answer. So another Automata Forge. He stacks it here. And Law Memorials all around. Noctani's got me on the ropes. He's just got to take out 1 more idol, and he's biding his time. He's got 2 units who can attack next turn and burn through unless I've got something up my sleeve. And a Vetter of the Wild is not something up my sleeve. I do get a Pother, though. And if I can... Oh, yes. So I Pother the Automata Forge. I had a 66% chance of getting it out of the row. I got it out of the road, and I Pothered a God Hand. Can you think of a more clutch card than that right now? And with that idol having 3 health, I can actually play a Kinfolk Brave or Vetter and win this game right here. So just because I have just top decked a God Hand, this is exactly, I guess you could say, how growth works, is that you hang on till the God Hand. My gunning for the idols worked. I barely won after some pretty rough play. But yeah, Noctani, he's good. That was an interesting deck to face against, as he said in the chat there. It tends to work really well if he can get his memorials out early. But it is a good middle to late game deck. And because of my aggression against idols early, I was able to overcome it. But that's it for now. This is Way to Fail with a just brief look at, yes, I'm still playing Growth for this, and I have actually managed to get my rating up a little bit. We'll look at some other games, though. But we got more Growth, we got more Decay, more Scrolls in general on the way. But that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you all next time.